What is up, guys? Naisou here. Welcome back. So it's been a while since we've done the last Final Fantasy XIV videos, and I just haven't been able to really play because life has just taken over. I had a previous video where I just went through the whole COVID Omicron experience, and we're finally catching back up. So I had to go back and look at the previous two videos for your guys' suggestions, which I really do appreciate, and we finally are, from what I believe, entering Heavensward. I'm definitely taking my time, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Again, please do give a thumbs up, and let's get to it. It has, however, been an incredible keeping up with the game and the community over the past 2 months, and I can see just how successful things have been going for Yoshi P and the crew over there. So much success that they had to actually stop sales of Endwalker and even stop trial accounts from playing except for the specific times due to server load. And quite surprisingly, I actually thought it was my internet connection, because over here in the Philippines that's a common factor, but even when I try to jump into the game and play, a lot of the times I still get some lag or delay in, finishing quests or accepting quests, and even getting off my trusty chocobo. So with that being said, that brings me to the main point of this video. This is pretty much something that I've never really felt from an MMO before, and was really evident in my time playing other MMOs, especially World of Warcraft. Pretty much ever since I can remember starting to play World of Warcraft, I always felt this need to stay pretty much toe-to-toe with every other player, especially my friends and my guild.
Dude, these guys are insane. Wait, man, why am I playing a warrior? Like, I literally beat a mage, and it doesn't even matter. He's speared, dude. What's a spear? Wait, what? He's cheating? Oh yeah, you can throw them on the map. That's right, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's been a long time. He used the weapon. Okay.
If I wasn't spending every moment of my free time grinding out gear, raiding, or some new system, I felt like I was constantly falling behind. It caused a terrible relationship between myself and the overall enjoyment of the game, because everything was approached almost as a speed run. I know not everyone is like this with MMOs or WoW particularly, but I feel like naturally a lot of players feel this way, at least the majority from my friends, my guild, and pretty much the majority of who I've played with over the past 15 years in World of Warcraft. It's pretty weird. It almost felt like homework on top of my homework back in high school and college. So fast forward, getting into Final Fantasy XIV was sort of like a new start for me, but going into it I really had to break those old habits and take a step back on how to approach it. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. I had to fight the urge to pretty much speed run things or skip the cutscenes to get through the expansion as fast as possible. Especially going into it, like I mentioned as before, most people just said, hey, you gotta get through AAR. So update, I've managed to avoid that and break those bad habits. I'm still currently finishing up AAR, the very ending from what I believe, heading into Heavensward, and I'm very excited about it. I've really tried to stay away from the online guides, the walkthroughs, and just leaving it up to discovery and mystery. The amazing thing is I still have the intentions to want to do those high-end gameplay experiences in Final Fantasy XIV, just like I did in World of Warcraft when I was doing Mythic Rating, Mythic Plus, etc. But I just don't feel like, I have to or that I need to. The narrative was definitely confusing at first for AAR, and even towards the end of it a little bit, but now that I'm at this point in the game, I actually really feel like things are starting to make sense. And to be honest, one of my favorite parts is just how more and more voiced cutscenes are happening. It also helps me learn how to pronounce some of the weird shit I couldn't pronounce before. So, I mean, that's a big thing for me. And again, I went through AAR really somewhat confused. Things start to make sense, and at this point, heading into Heavensward, things make a lot more sense. Again, I know everybody is different, but for me personally, this is what makes Final Fantasy XIV so enjoyable for me. It's not feeling the need to speedrun, to feeling like I need to log in every day, and just overall going at my own pace. Hell, I could take the next 6 months to catch up to Endwalker, hey, maybe it'll actually be available by then, but I'll be happy taking my time and getting to that point. With that being said, as I mentioned before, there was a lot of confusion for me coming into the story of AAR, and even the speaking and the pronunciation of things. I actually just curious if other players felt this way, whether you are a seasoned veteran of the Final Fantasy lore, the theme, or you were completely new. That's something I've actually been wondering about, because I've talked to some of my friends and they mentioned the same thing as well. So I'm also finding it a bit confusing doing some of the dungeons or trials. Those ones on hard mode, I believe. For example, the Leviathan fight that I just did was on hard. I didn't really know what to do there aside from hit the boss or the tail. There's also, these currencies that I'm not sure what to do with, unless it's similar to WoW, where it's just something I don't really need to worry about anymore at this point, because the gear will just be replaced with the new gear from MSQ down the road. These are things that I definitely could look up, but at the same time, the way that I approach games, especially something as this, I want to just experience everything for my own self, not really look up guides and walkthroughs. It's different for me if I, read some of your guys' comments and take those into consideration, but there's stuff that I definitely don't want to go ahead and look up and just kind of have this feeling of mystery to it, if you will. Now, I know a lot of you recommended I stick with the Dragoon throughout Haven Sword, which I am planning to do, but I just have to say I am so tempted to try something new. I've definitely been looking into the Ninja. I know there's also 2 new jobs, I believe, with Endwalker, which I don't have yet, but they seem pretty cool, and I've seen them running around what I believe to be the Reaper, and that one, I can't off the top of my head, there's one more new one here. But overall, I feel like I'm starting to get my bearings in the game, some of the confusion is starting to settle, and I can go head on into the next part of the story. Thanks again for all the help and suggestions in the previous videos. They really do help a new player like myself out. So I do want to thank you guys for watching this video, and like I said before in the past, this isn't just going to be a Final Fantasy channel. As you can see, I have a variety of content here for the many things that I'm involved in, but I still do want to just give updates here and there about my Final Fantasy XIV journey, especially since it's definitely going to be a long one, and who knows how long it'll take me to actually get caught up to Endwalker and going forward. So that's it for me. I've got some MSQ to go knock out and enjoy with my trusty plant guy here. But I do have a quick question before I end this video. What is your #1 favorite thing about Final Fantasy XIV? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. And until next time, thank you, GGWP.